talks about how we can control our mind, how we can utilize our senses in a much better way so that we can remain happy, remain peaceful. And that happiness is not based on some externals. Most of the times, our happiness is based on externals. If I get this, I will be happy. If I do not get it, I distressed, anxiety. But this teaching is going to help us uh, to understand how we can remain happy in all situations. Dhir means a person who is never disturbed. In all situations, in all circumstances, the person is happy. This Bhagavad Gita will help us to make right decisions, even in most critical situation. So these are the different benefits studying Bhagavad Gita will help us. Sometimes it may look like, okay, these messages you can get in other books as well. Many writers, many philosophers, they are giving such kind of information, or you can get hundreds of books, how to manage stress, how to manage anxiety, right? How to control your mind, so many things. But this book is not ordinary book. First of all, we have to take it in that way. There is a spiritual strength behind it, right? So if we talk about Bhagavad Gita, let's quickly understand what exactly this Bhagavad Gita is. So Bhagavad Gita, as I said, this is not an ordinary book. This is a spiritual book, right? And the words mentioned over here is coming from the supreme source. It's not from some ordinary author, writer. It's coming from the supreme source, Krishna. And it was spoken on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the most critical time, when Arjuna was supposed to fight with his friends and relatives. It's very difficult, right? It's not an easy job. He was there and he got bewildered. He was not ready to fight. He was not ready to do his duty. And in that situation, because he was not able to understand, it's a very interesting dialogue between Arjuna and Krishna. When we'll go through the chapter 1, we will hear this whole Bhagavad Gita is dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. And a few others are there, like the first verse we will hear from Dhritarashtra. And in between we will hear verses from Sanjay. And most of the verses from Arjun and Krishna. Both are talking to each other. And those questions and answers are the questions of our life. Arjuna is just a medium. He is helping us to find out answer for those questions which is going to help us. Right? Otherwise, Arjuna's position was very exalted. He is a direct friend and devotee of the Lord. But he is put into this condition so that he can raise question for our benefit. So this is the first point, that Bhagavad Gita is not an ordinary book. It's a scripture and it is spoken by Lord Krishna himself. And one thing here, when I say Lord Krishna, because most of you, I believe, anyone of you who don't believe in Krishna? Anyone? Don't have faith in Krishna?
I would not say I don't have faith.
Like to say something
Yes.
here. You asked a very pertinent question. Does one have faith in Krishna?
Yes.
If one was to look at Krishna in the anthropomorphic sense, that means he was just a human being.
Yes.
I would perhaps like to contest that. But if you're talking about Krishna as the entire source, the unmanifest source of everything, what somebody else may choose to call Brahman, or what the scientists may like to call the quantum fields, or whatever it is,
Yes.
I have no problems.
Yes.
The problem, as I see, and I'm sharing this more with a view to clarify the doubt which I may have otherwise, is the fundamental problem with most of us is when we use the word God.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the first and the foremost thought that comes to our mind is that of an anthropomorphic being. He has to be someone, male, female, human being, animal, but he has to be someone, okay? And someone that we can relate to in that sense.
Yes.
I would, going as a student of Vedanta, would sound a little atheistic here. The Brahman is an abstract concept. That's all I would like to mention. That's the reason I mentioned, because otherwise the word God can mean different things to
Yes, true. That's true. Anyway, this topic we will discuss in detail in later chapters which will come, because this is very important aspect when it comes to God, when it comes to, so many people have faith, many people don't have faith. And even people who have faith, they have different understanding with God. So this is why I'm raising this point over here, because this understanding is very much required. As I said, because when we are going to study Bhagavad Gita or any subject matter, until we have faith on a speaker, we won't be able to maybe understand the message, or we won't be able to accept the message, because only understanding the message is not going to help us, right? Even after understanding, so knowledge, when it is accepted, when it is when we implement in our life, then only we are going to get benefit out of it. So this point is very, very important also, because this many times people, where even they go through Bhagavad Gita, now we are talking about the authenticity of Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because many a times people are studying Bhagavad Gita, and maybe many other Bhagavad Gita is there. But what is the problem with many other Bhagavad Gita? They exclude Krishna out of Bhagavad Gita. They just simply take Krishna out of that Bhagavad Gita, and whatever is mentioned over there, all 700 verses are there. In every Bhagavad Gita, you will see 700 shlokas. But what is the difference? The difference is of translation and the purport which is mentioned over there. That might be personally motivated. This is second point I'm talking about, as I said, because authenticity of the scripture, or that is very much required if we really want to take benefit of Bhagavad Gita. If you see the title, it is mentioned Bhagavad Gita as it is, right? Bhagavad Gita as it is. Why as it is? There are so many Bhagavad Gita. A question may be raised. There are so many Bhagavad Gita edition. Why this Bhagavad Gita is required? I can take any of the Bhagavad Gita. And before this Bhagavad Gita also, there were so many Bhagavad Gita. But personally experienced even reading many other Bhagavad Gita also, sometimes we are not able to understand the crux, the spirit behind it, right? And it is because the person who is speaking Bhagavad Gita, we are not accepting that person. And because of that, we are not able to accept the message. So this one aspect is very, very required. And maybe at this point of time, we may not accept the person, because we have never known about much, I'll say. Because being in India, we are fortunate enough that we know a little bit about, but we don't have that much faith. So here it is mentioned that at least what we should do, theoretically we should accept it. If not by heart, at least we should accept. Yes, because we are going to hear from Krishna, and whatever we are going to hear, just like when we go to college or when we study, then whatever teacher is teaching you, not blindly. Having blind faith is not suggested over here. And that's what this forum is, wherein we will discuss, we will understand different perspectives, different opinions. Nowhere it is. I mean, we don't have to accept anything blindly. We, like Arjuna also, if you see in Bhagavad Gita, he will ask so many cross questions. Until he is satisfied, he is asking so many questions. So like this, we don't have to accept everything blindly. We have to discuss, We have to understand subject matter logically, scientifically, and then only we will be able to accept it. Otherwise, right? So this point is also very important. So we are going to hear from. Now we will discuss about the structure of Bhagavad Gita. Structure. What is the structure of this Bhagavad Gita? So there is a beautiful example mentioned. If you see a jewel box, right? The upper lid, lower, and in middle of that box, what is there? Jewel. So this Bhagavad Gita is compared to that jewel box. Total, how many chapters are there? 18 chapters are there. 700 verses. 18 chapters. And first 6 chapters, that is known as Karma Yoga. Prominently, Karma is discussed over there, but apart from Karma Yoga, there is Jnana Yoga, there is Bhakti Yoga, but prominently it is talking about Karma, first 6 chapters. And that is the lower lid, that is the lower portion of that box, jewel box. And upper lid, last 6 chapters, that is Jnana Yoga. So last 6 chapters, that is the jewel-studded upper lid, beautiful lid. And in between that, the middle 6 chapters, that is known as Bhakti Yoga. Clear? These three, this is the structure of Bhagavad Gita. Sorry. What is most precious when you have jewel box? How beautiful that box is, that is okay, that is fine. Right? So in between that, the jewel is most precious thing. So, which is there, protected. When you have anything very valuable, you don't keep it like anything. No, you keep it very protected in shelf, locked. Lots of security system is there. So similarly in Bhagavad Gita, the middle 6 chapters, that is about Bhakti Yoga, and throughout Bhagavad Gita, the flavor, the essence of bhakti is throughout Bhagavad Gita available over there. Yes. So in this structure, the most important aspect is bhakti, devotion. Purpose of Bhagavad Gita, like we said, different purpose may be there, maybe happiness, maybe peace, satisfaction, so many things. But what is the ultimate purpose of Bhagavad Gita? Can anybody guess? What is that ultimate purpose of Bhagavad Gita? Mukti?
Alignment to the Almighty, finally.
Alignment to the Almighty. Yes. Good. Anything else? Liberation. Yes. The same. Mukti, liberation, alignment. Surrender to Krishna.
Understanding of self, understanding of this world, and understanding of the Almighty.
Very good. Yes. My job is very easy now because you all have a little bit, means you have gone through this, so you have that knowledge. Why this alignment is required? Why connectivity to God is required? First of all, like I said, many of us may not believe in God, but for the time being, just let's take it theoretically. If I believe in God, why this alignment is required?
It gives me strength in my testing times. I don't have to look out for strength, or we all go through surprises every day.
Yes.
So I need to draw strength. So if I'm aligned in any form and format, name could be anything, then I can. It's just that that's how I see it as.
That's nice. We get strength, huh? Supreme Father is there behind me.
Yeah.
If I do anything, if I even fail, my Father is there. He will look after me. Right? When we, in general, when we learn cycling, and Father is there holding, then we feel confident enough. Yes. That's very nice answer. Of course.
enlightenment, I think we need direction also.
Direction. Yes. We need guidance. Proper direction. This is a very important aspect, which is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, this book is giving us a direction. This is known as life manual. Like any other product, when we take any gadget, we get a manual with that. We learn how to utilize that so that we can take best benefit of that gadget. So similarly, we are like a product, uh, product of God. God has made us, and He has given us this life manual. So if we know about the self, if we know the purpose of our life or ourself, then we will be able to utilize it properly. So this is also very important aspect, not only just mental peace or physical needs or some emotional no balance. That is okay, that is required to manage our life, because we are in this life and we have to have this balance so that we can always remain peaceful, satisfied. But this is the byproduct. This is not the ultimate purpose of this Bhagavad Gita. This is what we have to understand. The Bhagavad Gita, it has a very higher purpose, very high purpose, and that purpose is connectivity. And that's what, when we were talking about the structure of Bhagavad Gita, the term yoga, all these, whatever we are using these terms, we will discuss in detail. And this is just an introductory class. We are just trying to, just give a reason behind why we need to understand this subject. So yoga is, again, yoga meaning, meaning of yoga is what?
Salvation.
Connectivity. Yoga. Connectivity. So connectivity to whom? So
Krishna.
yes?
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
The Wi-Fi is Krishna.
So connectivity to Krishna,
Supreme Being.
Supreme Being. Huh? That is required. So the whole sole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is connecting to the Supreme. Connecting self to the Supreme Self, Supreme Person. That connectivity is very much required. Once we are connected, and once connectivity means taking guidance from, and Bhagavad Gita is all the teachings, the guidance, which is through Arjuna is given to us. So when we accept the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, whatever teachings, different aspects are there, when we accept it, then we succeed. Then we always remain peaceful, happy, satisfied, because He knows. He is the knower of past, He is knower of present, He is knower of future. And whatever He is doing, whatever He does, is for our ultimate good. Right? So if we accept Him, then automatically things are going to take place. Peace, satisfaction, all these are byproducts of accepting or being connected to the Supreme Source. I'll take a very vague example to understand it. Because now today, my objective of this class is just to understand this why factor, because we are going to give our precious time and we must be highly motivated for that. And let me tell you, every chapter it is going to open and reveal so many things. Sometimes you will feel like, my God, I never heard about it, right? And even most of the time, many a times maybe heard about, but never took it very seriously. So I'll give you a very rough example why this connectivity is required. We all have seen dogs, right? A street dog and pet dog. What is the difference between the street dog and pet dog?
Pet of the master
Huh?
to provide.
Yes.
So taking
If we just analyze the life of these two dogs, the street dog and pet dog. Pet street dog, just free. Wherever he wants to go, can go. Whatever he wants to eat, can eat. a free life, right? Nobody is there to stop. But if you see the pet dog, tied up in a room, not free, and so many other things like restricted, following the order of his master. Which one is better? If we given this option to choose which kind of life or which kind of option, I mean, just to understand, right? Don't take it. This is just to understand this one point, why this connectivity is required. So if we given this option, which one we will choose?
In Nirvana, stray dogs.
Yeah. Yes? Street one, no? Yeah. Whenever I ask this question, most of the people say, oh, a street dog. No, कोई रोक टोक नहीं चाहिए, एकदम free life.
But I'm not I will go for a pet dog because a pet dog has discipline and stuff like that.
You are from army background, and army people are very disciplined, no?
Regulated life is always better.
Yes, regulated
is always
life.
better.
And
We
he
need
needs
that life.
being taken care of by the master.
Yes.
As for the stray dog, he has to fend for himself.
Very good.
He's
And
on
he's
his
doing
own.
all the
Yes.
things.
See, stray dog goes here and there goes अपना कोई है नहीं.
हाँ.
Maybe the pet one has someone to look forward to, जो उसको अपना बोल सकता है.
Yes. Yes.
Stray dog, yeah, it's a good.
Even if we see the second part of this life, second part, I mean, if you see the stray dog, how they die, it's very pathetic death, no? Very, most of the times they are diseased or met with an accident and die. Nobody is there to look after, right? And if you see the pet dog, getting so much facilities,
Attention, love,
Somebody to bathe them, somebody
special
to feed
house,
them.
special room,
doctor,
and even I could see personally when I visit many of the other people, I see so many facilities, even medical facilities, and now you can see hoardings even. When I was working, one of my colleague, when we were going to head office for our meetings, and she used to call, and she used to inquire about the facilities in hotel. I thought she is going to head office, maybe she must be arranging for someone. She was always talking about. Okay, so because I was very close, so I could hear. Okay, massage facility is there,
yeah.
and she will be at the so many things.
Yeah.
And finally, I got to know that she is making arrangements for her dog. I said, wow, such kind of facilities are there.
He's done such a nice karma in past lives now. He's got, he's getting the better facility.
So the point is, the pet dog is getting so much facility. Even you see, don't take it. I know this is just an example to understand. Even the owner of the dog, in the morning, early morning, taking the dog for toilet.
Yes.
In this situation, can you identify who is the master and who is the servant?
Another interesting aspect, if you have a pet for a long time, you start looking like that. You become that features.
That I never observed, maybe.
But I've heard quite a bit about it. A lot of features are picked up,
Yeah, of course, we can see from association point of view. When you associate with someone, so the traits, the qualities you adopt.
But this happens in human beings also. There is somebody who's born on the road and somebody who's born with a silver spoon.
Yes.
So why to take an example of dogs? It
No, I'm
happens
just coming to
very
the point.
often.
I'm coming to the point. Yes. So, yes, we have limited time now. So, let me just conclude with this. So, why giving this analogy or this analysis we are doing? So, pet dog is getting so much of facility, and a stray dog, we could see the life. We can see the life, but then what is that difference? Why this is pet dog getting so much of facility? Medical facility, whatever health facilities are there, even big car. He never went to any university to get a degree to work with a big company, and he is getting into the same car which the master is having. Without any effort, he is getting that facility. What is the reason behind that?
Because the master loves the dog.
Yeah.
This
That
love.
is
Your
karma.
answer. Huh?
That is karma.
Karma is one thing, of course. Here the point is, like you said, the first when I asked you, answer that this question, because he has taken shelter of his master.
Yeah.
That is the one reason. Law of karma, that is altogether, that's a totally different thing. Here the point we are trying to understand, just because the dog has taken shelter of his master. Taking shelter of master means what? Whatever his master is saying, simply he is following that. And rest of the thing is being taken care. He is not to worry about his food, about his shelter, about his health facilities, whatever is required. Simply because he has taken shelter of his master, and now his master is fulfilling those needs. That is the only difference. And the stray dog we could see, because he is not having a master. So this point is very, very important to understand, right? So if we have a master, and if we follow the master, yes, just 1 second. So this is going to help us, and we will be able to manage every aspect of life very easily. And that's what I said in the beginning. If you see the chaos in society, what is the reason behind that? The scriptures talking about, in spite of so much of technological advancement, economical development, so many facilities, so much of education, but our situation, the society is, I mean, so much of destruction, so much of chaos in life, from within family, within society. You see, fight within family, racial fight, I mean, country to country fight. Why this is happening? Have we ever thought about it? What is the reason behind that? Why so much of chaos in society? The reason, which is scripture is talking about, the missing link is disconnectivity, forgetfulness, forgetfulness of God. Right? Yes, please.
I just wanted to say that if there's the supreme being, he or she would not wait for somebody to believe in him or not believe in. He is anyway the master of all.
Yes, got your point. Very nice question. And this session is going to be like this. So many questions will come up. And gradually, because all these questions are going to be answered in Bhagavad Gita. Why bad things happen to good people? Hmm? We are not doing anything bad, but still we are suffering. Why? This is the question Arjuna asked. So many things. Very interesting subject matter. So we will come up with, let's just start this first. Right? So today we discussed about, first of all, we must know that what Bhagavad Gita is. This is not an ordinary book. And second, uh, the why factor. We have higher purpose. If we work for higher purpose, then rest of the thing will be taken care. We don't have time otherwise. We mustn't be knowing Maslow theory we discuss in management, right? So that formula is here. So when you work for higher purpose, all your needs will be taken care. So that is one aspect. Of course, Bhagavad Gita is the higher purpose of Bhagavad Gita, studying Bhagavad Gita is knowing the self and re-establishing our lost relationship with the Supreme Being. And that why it is that connectivity is required, we can understand with this example. Right? So these are the few things. And also we studied just a little bit structure of Bhagavad Gita and Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and in the middle portion that is Bhakti Yoga, and that is the prominent subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. So in our later chapters, like when we continue this journey, I mean, we are going to first understand the next topic, that is about setting the scene. We will understand the background. Like as I said, this was spoken in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So that's that dynasty, that we will understand a little bit from Mahabharata, because Bhagavad-Gita is a part of Mahabharata. So we will know about the setting the scene, how this took place, and then finally few terminology, or I'll say few concepts, which in this book, if you see, before starting Bhagavad Gita chapter 1, there is introduction and a big one, almost good number of pages are there, and which is talking about good few concepts which we need to understand. So I will take it briefly. We will understand few things, and then we'll move to chapter 1, and from there we'll continue the discussion. Yes. So I'll take few minutes. If you have any question as of now, we can discuss on that part. Any question or any, as of now, whatever we have discussed?
Yeah, I want to make a
Yes.
point.
Yes.
You talked about 3 segments
Yes.
in Bhagavad Gita, starting with Karma Yoga,
Yeah.
ending with Jnana Yoga, and devotion.
Devotion.
And Bhakti. And the prominence of Bhakti here.
Yes.
Based upon my experience, and I'm sharing this with everybody for whatever it's worth, I found the Bhakti Yoga not acceptable to me.
Yes.
Because my mother was very ritualistic.
Yes.
And as a child, I was iconoclast. I was just not willing to follow any rituals,
Yes.
although I was born in a Hindu family.
Yes.
For what reason I got attracted towards the spiritual learning, I don't know. But I got attracted towards it very early in my life, struggled a lot. And one conclusion that I came to is this, that knowledge is not prerogative of any individual or any geography. In fact, I found that there are people from other geographies at different points in time, they have articulated things which is very, very profound. The struggle, when it led to a lot of learning,
Yes.
eventually it brought me to devotion.
Yes.
Eventually. But I had to go through a lot of struggle, and today my devotion is not fragile.
Yes. That is learning by experience.
It is based upon a very, very, very strong edifice. Even now, if you were to ask me, do you believe in Krishna? I do not believe in Krishna as an anthropomorphic human being. Do you believe in a supreme being? Yes, I do, but not in the form in which most people would like to associate it with.
Yes.
So the limited point I'm trying to make is, for some people, devotion may be the first and the right path. But for jokers like me, who have to follow the Jnana Yoga, who have to answer a lot of questions which are stupid and nonsensical, where did this universe come from? Where did I come from? Where will I go after I die? I have to go through all that nonsense. I have to go through it because that's the way I'm made. And after all that, when I came to the conclusion that I will not have the answers to most of these questions, not only they are unknown, they are unknowable. And then what one would like to call surrender or devotion happened. But the limited point I'm trying to argue is, for some people, devotion may be the starting point and might work very well. For jokers like me, no. It had to go through a full circle of struggle,
Yes.
then ended at devotion. That's the limit.
Very nice point we will discuss about. See, now, as I said, of course, there are different individuals following different path. That's what even Krishna in Bhagavad Gita giving different paths. He didn't say that you follow this. Otherwise, he would have directly spoke about Bhakti Yoga. But he is giving option: Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. All these options he is giving. So gradually we will learn all these. Even finally, he is giving a proposal. Whatever you wish, do that. He is not imposing knowledge. He is giving all the knowledge. The purpose of knowledge we know. No? So whichever path you want to choose, you want to follow Karma Yoga, you want to follow Jnana Yoga, you can choose that. But one more thing we have to understand over here, all these yoga processes, it's not separate. We can compare to a ladder. सीढ़ी होती है ना, ladder. Different rungs in a ladder. So these yoga, different yogas, this is just different rungs in a ladder. So which is beginning, starting from Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, or Ashtanga Yoga. Different processes, physical, to control the mind, to control the senses, that is Ashtanga Yoga. And finally, Bhakti Yoga. So if you see, either it is Karma Yoga or it is Jnana Yoga. When we follow the process of karma, when bhakti is connected to karma, we call it Karma Yoga. See, yoga word we learned, right? Yoga means connectivity. We have to be very clear. And connectivity to whom? That Supreme Being or Supreme Source. As of now, maybe we believe in form or not, that's a different altogether subject matter. I'm agreed with you that yes, there is a Supreme Source. We all agreed with this, right? There is a Supreme Source. And connectivity to that Supreme Source, we follow some yoga process. So these are the different yoga process. So when we follow the process of karma, we call it Karma Yoga. When we follow the process of jnana, we call it Jnana Yoga. When we follow the process of bhakti, we call it Bhakti Yoga. So, but ultimately we will see, even we follow Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, individually, Karma Yoga, individually, finally, that devotion aspect is there. Individually, it does not reach to the ultimate. Anyway, these are all detailed discussions we will do gradually, right? But here, just to make this point clear, that yes, we have that choice. Whatever we are going to study in Bhagavad Gita, all these options are available for us based on our nature. Whatever way we want to choose, we can take. Choice is there. We can, like if you have a high-rise building, you can choose to go, and you're staying at maybe 30th floor. You can choose to go to your floor, your room, through a stair, or you can choose lift. Wow.
We can also be aircraft.
Huh? So all these options will be available for us. We have to just see which path is more easy to reach to my destination. Yes, please.
I have a related question,
Yes.
and maybe because I'm not read as much as others have read,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand how will we imbibe this in daily life?
Yes.
What is the process and path for it? Is the expectation of understanding the teachings here, imbibing repetition, or is there a other process and path which will give direction?
That's a very nice question. Application of Bhagavad Gita or the teachings we are going to get from here, how we are going to apply that. So yes, gradually we will learn it. Means whatever teachings are there, first we will understand it, first we will relate it, we will experience how it is happening in my life. Because I'll tell you my personal, means even before reading Bhagavad Gita, I was totally a Nastic person. Nastic or Astic, that's a totally different question. But what I mean to say, somehow when I came in contact with, when I started studying this, and I could see before this so many other books I used to read, I used to go through. Love to read books. So when I went through this, I could see most of the knowledge which is there in different books, that is there. That is there. So when we go through this journey, so we will get all those knowledge, and also we will discuss about how to practically apply that knowledge in our life. So that is our objective of the conducting this session, just not sharing the knowledge. Because knowledge, if it is not implemented in life, that is of no use, simply waste of time. And I don't want to waste your time, please. Please.
Well, at the risk of sounding very stupid, um I don't believe in that. I don't know know whether it is true that there was a gentleman who used to wear more pankha. I just cannot imagine whether it is true.
Yes.
So that's why there is so much of confusion
Hmm.
about the word Krishna, whether, as Sir said, whether it's a human form or is it something else.
That's
Because
what.
when I see children at Janmashtami being dressed with all that stuff, it confuses me.
That's what I said. Okay, even if we don't have faith, man, it's a question of faith. Of course, faith means not blind faith. I said, huh? As of now, that's what it is. I mentioned that theoretically, just because we are going to hear from him. So when we go to college, when the teacher starts teaching, none of us raise any question. We have faith on teacher. When we go to airplane, nobody check whether the pilot is certified or not, experienced or not. No one check. Means faith, right? Without faith, we will not board airplane or train, whatever. So just like as of now, with our whatever understanding as of now, because having faith means when we know something, when the level of understanding, the level of knowledge we have about something, that increases or decreases our faith. So as of now, let's have faith because we are going to hear from Krishna the different aspect of life, different problems and solution he is going to give us. So as of now, we will have that, and gradually it will get revealed. And
I want to just
so
make a point to your concern or confusion is with regard to that particular faith.
form.
And Guruji is trying to explain the concept of faith and saying don't have a blind faith. Many, many years ago, there was something which was told to me, made a lot of appeal to me, and I'm going to share that with you. We believe what we have experienced. We believe what we have experienced. If you ever put your hand on a hot stove or a hot tawa, you know it will hurt you. I don't have to prove it to you. Okay? We believe what we have experienced. Faith is to believe what we may not have experienced, what somebody else has experienced, the reward of which will be to experience what we believe in. Make some sense? Of course, there is a downside to it. The downside to it is like a self-fulfilling prophecy, a word that we use in management. I'll repeat it because it's so important. I've learned it. We believe what we have experienced. Faith is to believe what we may not have experienced, what somebody else may have experienced. The reward of which will be to experience what we believe in. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean that tomorrow you will start seeing Krishna in that form only. Okay? Because if you were not born in a Hindu family and you were born in a Christian family, I can bet my last boot on it. You would give me 2 slaps on this side and 2 slaps on that side if I was to talk to you about Krishna. You would always see the figure of Jesus. That's because of our conditioning. So for a minute, let's get out of that childish, I'm using the word very carefully, that childish thinking that that supreme being is in a particular form that we have got used to. It's quite possible, theoretically, Krishna may be sitting in front of you tomorrow in the form of, a 3-piece suit. But because you are so used to conceptualizing him in a particular way that you are not willing to accept anything else. You are not willing to accept the forces of nature which are nothing but expressing themselves as a part of the Supreme Being. So Guruji just...
Yes, that's fine. I
just
got the
want-
idea. Yeah,
Thank you
2
for that,
points.
sir. That
Yeah.
was
2
quite
points.
convincing. Thank
Yes.
you.
As I said that this point we will discuss in detail about. Of course, Lord, when we talk about God, it's a big conception, and different energies of the Lord, we will all understand these things. Like Sir said, yes, somebody, Jesus Christ, somebody seeing God in Allah. So that is true, that's fine, okay.
Now, the only
Yes.
problem in the case of Allah, they don't.
The name and the form actually doesn't matter.
Yeah.
In
Now
fact,
coming to the
If
point.
you read this properly, sorry,
Yeah, please.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
what I just wanted to say is because there were two questions, and from a layperson, having gone through it, see, when you read this book, right, don't have a preconception. Don't think that, as Sir said, that that God is in a certain form or certain name or anything. Just think there is a supreme being, right? And if you read this book properly and you understand it, all other things will get clearer to you. Right?
That's
In
a
fact,
very
how to
beautiful
implement
point.
it.
I'm getting from your answer. Thank you so much. Like this book is also known as non-sectarian. So let's not take it is just for Hindus.
Absolutely.
This is not for Hindus, right? Nowhere you will find Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, nowhere you will find, right? Because the teachings over there is for everyone, right? So this is very important. So thank you so much. This point I wanted to raise. And so far as faith is concerned, like Sir said, no? One way of learning is learning by experience. That is called experiential learning. I do it, I experience it, and then I learn it. And the second way of learning is learning by experiences of others. And learning by personal experience sometimes it is very costly.
It is the bitterest.
Very costly learning. So intelligent person will learn by the experience of others. And then, of course, that realization after learning means you will have that realization. So what we are going to learn from a scripture, learning from a scripture means learning by the experiences of others and then realizing that. Not just theoretical, keeping here, realizing that, experiencing that. So it's a better way of learning. Otherwise, if everybody starts touching the fire, let me touch the fire, then only I will believe that it burns.
See, something
So that way of learning is not good.
If I can add, adding life example,
Yeah.
learning. Look at a 3 or 4 year old child, who how much we say learn by experiences. We never had that logic come in.
Yes.
So my daughter swims like a fish now, and she's a big girl now. But when she was 3, 4 years old at the Society One Club, I would take her to the pool, and she would cling on with the faith that my dad knows swimming, and even till date I don't know how to swim. But she would just hold on to me, and then she'd start whatever we all have seen our kids learn swimming. So I guess we get in the session with the faith, the swimming Baba, and I think let's give it a fair chance to ourselves, not anyone else, to see, maybe we learn to swim. And I guess if I could add 2 cents to it.
Thank you.
Yes. Any other point in this?
Guruji, were you by any chance an engineer before?
I did my IT education. I worked for.
There's a deliberate reason I asked the question. Because most of us believe, and would like to believe, that science is the most experientially proving way of learning, because experimentally you prove things. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
And I'm sure you will be able to elaborate this point because you are an IT engineer. How many times when we start something in a science practical class, we start with a faith. This is what was done earlier, and this is what was found to be appropriate, and these were the results, whether by Newton or his son, I don't care. Then you do the same experiment yourself, and you find the same results. So, as we said, there are many times when you have to start with the faith. Don't end with it. Start with the faith. But as they say in armed forces, I think, trust and verify.
Yes.
Trust and verify.
Very true.
So start with the faith that what he's saying is true. Maybe I have not experienced it.
That little bit of faith, that faith and blind faith, that's what I'm using these two terms. No blind faith. But to start with, you need faith. Shraddha, that is called. Little bit of faith is required to start any activity.
Forget anything else. What about a doctor? We all experience it.
Yes.
हमारा इलाज होगा या नहीं होगा, ये बहुत कुछ तो इस बात पे निर्भर करता है कि हमारी कितनी श्रद्धा है उस डॉक्टर साहब के ऊपर में या डॉक्टर ने के ऊपर में. मैं तो एक डॉक्टर नहीं के पास में जाता हूँ, मुझसे उम्र में काफ़ी छोटी है. अब मैं उससे ये तो नहीं पूछता हूँ कि मैडम जरा अपना सर्टिफिकेट दिखाओ तुम, और तुमने किया कहाँ से था MBBS, उसके बाद तुमने MD कहाँ से करी थी, ये बताओ मुझे। अरे मुझे एक एक्सपेरिमेंट या 2 एक्सपेरिमेंट के बाद में बात समझ में आ गई। अब मैं क्यों उससे दुनिया भर के सवाल पूछूं? लेकिन that does not mean that I don't ask her the questions which pertain to my health. भाई जब आप फ्रिज खरीदने जाती हो 25 सवाल पूछती हो, ये तो मेरी जान है, एक ही है, तो मैं आपसे सवाल पूछूंगा, जवाब दे दो मुझे। लेकिन they are not pertain. See, the intent of the questioning is very, very important. As Buddha would always say, if the purpose of your questioning is to seek more information and to learn, everybody will be able to understand it. But if the purpose of your questioning is to put down somebody and to denigrate somebody else, even that other person will be able to make out. तो सवाल इस चीज का होता है कि आपके प्रश्न पूछने की मंशा क्या है?
Yes, that's also a very important aspect. Whatever we are learning, the spirit behind that is very much important.
So, I mean, whatever I'm saying, sorry, I'm talking a little too much, but मैं इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि मैं काफी जूते खा के यहाँ पहुँचा हूँ.
Your experience is going to help us a lot.
For whatever it's worth, I'm willing to share that. But please, 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 just because something has worked for me, it does not become correct, and it may not be appropriate for the other person. मैं अपना एक्सपीरियंस, अपना अनुभव आपके साथ में जो है ज़रूर साझा कर लूँगा, लेकिन उसके बाद में आप अपना दिमाग लगाइए, आप देखिए ये बात आपको अपील करती है या नहीं करती है.
So this is, of course, what we all have experiences, maybe whatever level, but we all have our personal experiences. So that we will see, and what scripture is giving, that is again experiences, right? So we will learn those experiences, implement, and then realize. That's why it is called realized knowledge. It's not just knowledge.
गुरुजी आपका नाम क्या है?
Yeah, let me just conclude with this. Okay.
Yeah, what was your journey?
Yes, my journey, just though today I was anyway. 12:30 is the time we have to conclude this session. The 10 minutes we have.
उसके बाद में क्या हमें धक्के मार के निकाल
No, we have.
have discussion over the lunch
Yes, yes.
there.
मतलब आप 11 मिनट भी ले लें, हमें किसी को आपत्ति नहीं होगी.
Thank you so much. Yes. So as I said,
Can we start nursing Aarti first and then probably
yes, we can do that. Or
we can continue the discussion?
even so many things. I got such a nice audience. In fact, from the very beginning, I started discussing with you.
आरती करनी है ना, तो ऐसा करते हैं ना, पहले आरती कर लेते हैं.
Right.
उसके बाद में आप अपना जो है इंट्रोडक्शन बड़े आराम से दीजिए.
Right. Over the lunch we can continue the discussion.
सिर्फ अपना नाम बता दें.
Yes. So I'm Rameshwar Giridhari Das. So I'm here in ISKCON Bhaktishapur Temple, very close to this place. I did my MSc Computer Science and then management courses. I worked for almost 12 years. And when I got this, I was in Pune working over there. And the manager I replaced, or the person who left the job, I was the person who to head over there. And I invited him to understand business. Please come, I'm new to this place. Let me know about how to go ahead. So he invited me to, he said, no, I'll not come to the office. Better there's a garden nearby, you come to that place. And that garden was ISKCON Temple's garden. I went there, and just within few minutes, he said, he spoke about this. He said, just go through this. Try to understand this message. It will help you a lot. And he connected me to library. And I went there and I started, because I had time, so I started reading and taking help from other people, devotees over there. So to help. Yeah, please. Sorry. I wish. So let me just. Today, I was planning to get some team members also so that we can do some kirtan and all that. Seeing because day one, time was one constant, so we thought, let's play the recording. So now we will play a recording of Narsim Aarti. It's Lord Narsimha, prayer for Lord Narsimha, who is the protector. So he helps us to keep us protected and from all the dangers. So we will play this prayer for a few minutes. So we all standing, we can just hear this.
Sorry, technical glitch.
Let me sing. Just keep it. Absolutely.
Namaste Narasimhaya. If you can repeat that is fine. No, let's skip that. Namaste Narasimhaya Praladadaine Hiranyakashipurvakshaha Shilatankanakhalaye Ito Nasingha Parto Nasingha Yato yato yami tato nasingha Bahir nasingha Hidaye nasingha Nasingamadim sharanam prapade Avakara kamalabare Natha Adhuta shingam dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhinga Ishabhadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Avakar Kamala Varena Adhuta Shingam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubhinga Ishabhadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Nasingadev 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 Jaya Nasingadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada Jai Jai Gurudev 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 Jai Jai Gurudev Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe, Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe. Jaya Gauranita 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 Jaya Gauranita Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Gurudev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So Nrsimhadev ki jai, Srila Prahlad Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this prayer is required. When we start, even that's what I said. You were so interactive and so interesting as we started discussing, and the first part when we start with prayer because this knowledge, our individual intellectual effort, that is one thing we have to do that, and at the same time we have to seek mercy of the Lord because this message is coming from Him. So these two things require to understand the message and apply that message, right? So we will make prayer and take blessings from Krishna, and we will put our effort to understand this message like Arjuna, and we will be victorious. Like end of the Bhagavad-Gita, Sanjay, he mentioned Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna. I mean, wherever Krishna is there, Krishna is, yes, he is the best guide, best teacher, and the teachings he is giving us, and devotee or disciple or a student like Arjuna, he accepted the message, implemented the message, and he was victorious. So we want all to be victorious in our life, right? From every aspect. As I said, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspect. So we want to achieve success, and then we will be, with the help of Krishna, with the help of all of you, because you all have some experiences, right? We will keep on discussing. So thank you so much once again for giving us your time and your association. So I request you all, next Sunday again we will meet on time, and on time we will conclude this. And so many things going to reveal. And I'm really sorry for anything, any words which I used, in case knowingly, unknowingly it hurts you. So kindly excuse for that, because this message is really lots of discussion is required. So my humble obeisances and to and wonderful devotees, like, of course, like the message. Sorry, please. You are very senior to me, and just.
ऐसा है कि सीनियर जूनियर की जो बात है ना वो तुलसी का बहुत बड़ा एक दोहा है तुलसी इस संसार में मिली है सबसे धाय ना जाने किस रूप में नारायण मिल जाए
Already blessed today. You have association of all of you. Please, this is our responsibility also. This is one important point in Bhagavad Gita. This is our responsibility. Let's understand this message. Let's make our lives, successful. And let's spread this message to others so that they can also make successful. Now, another activity, special, that is Prashadam is waiting for all of you. Take lunch, Prashadam. And thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
ये तो पहले बताना चाहिए था
A small quantity. So this is what the program is structured. And also you will dance over here. I'm telling you that today we don't have that team, but the overall study of this Bhagavad Gita, we are going to sing, we are going to dance, we are going to enjoy our life, feasting.
Will you get that team next week?
Yeah, we will get, definitely.
We'll start with
melodious kirtan, and yes, we will start with that. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yeah, sure. So in case you have any question, then we can meet one-to-one. It's time here, so we can discuss anything personal you want to discuss. Hare Krishna.
Don't touch. You can say Hare Krishna. We are like saying we are just on this journey together. We're going to help each other.
You have a beautiful voice, Rameshwar. Or when you sing, is it automatically becomes like that?